Hello, everyone, and welcome to Entertainment Weekly's What to Watch, the show where EW staff help you solve your viewing dilemmas. I am your host, Gerrad Hall, and I'm here warming myself and roasting chestnuts over the dumpster fire that is 2020 with digital writer Maureen Lenker, senior movies editor David Canfield, and editor-at-large James Hibberd. Welcome to all of you. Let's get right into it, shall we? Julie Andrews, you guys, she's watching our every move as Lady Whistledown in Netflix's brand new series, Bridgerton. Our favorite dame narrates this period drama, just like I imagine she narrates the thoughts in my head. The series details the competitive nature of high society in London during the Regency period, and all 8 episodes of season 1 drop on Christmas Day. Quite a gift for all of you out there. Maureen, if someone from that era were alive and well today, would they deem Bridgerton noble enough?
Well, I have to add with the caveat, if they were alive and well and had become appropriately woke to the era of 2020, then right. Yes, they would. Because one thing that is super cool about this costume drama is that it's set in sort of that Jane Austen world of ballrooms and high society, which typically we see as very white and very straight, although of course was not necessarily. I mean, people of color and the LGBTQ community have always existed, and this show really acknowledges that.
This main cast, they're all pretty notable British actors, but this platform on Netflix, global, international here, could put them on a much bigger scale, seen by people everywhere. So do you think there are any standouts here that folks should be looking out for?
I think that Regé-Jean Page, who plays Simon the Duke, he may be familiar to audiences from For the People, the Shondaland series, but this is a much bigger breakout role, and he's the romantic hero of the series, and he really has to bring that smolder, and boy, does he deliver. There's also Jonathan Bailey, who plays the heroine's older brother, Anthony. He is a bit more well-known to the Broadway community. He was supposed to be in the Gender Bent Company that was about to open right when the pandemic shut down Broadway. And I think audiences are also going to immediately fall in love with him. And Nicola Coughlan, who people may love from Dairy Girls, she has a great little side role, and she is just really delightful and fun and has these ridiculously bright orange and yellow dresses. And but the whole cast is fabulous. Phoebe Diviner, who plays Daphne, who is the heroine here, is great. And everyone is just really, really fabulous.
We are doing a total 180 as we move on from Bridgerton and the land of king and queens to a land that's all king. Stephen King, that is, as next week sees the premiere of the new limited series adaptation of his seminal novel, The Stand. The book is about a global pandemic that ravages a divided America ruled by an evil demagogue. And surprisingly enough, it was well in the works before 2020. So James, will this series be scary for all the wrong reasons?
Well, it's such an iconic novel, and it's such a classic, and, King's fans love it. And so, I don't think it's going to be triggering in quite that way. They also sort of kind of go out of their way to get past the pandemic parts as quickly as possible. To a degree, I think it's actually going to be pretty controversial with fans. One thing that everybody that I know who has watched the screeners so far comments on is the fact that this story isn't told linearly. In other words, unlike the book, unlike the previous miniseries from 1994, it kind of jumps around in time a lot. And I think it's going to be a very controversial decision, even though one thing that it does do is it keeps it from being the first couple episodes being about basically just people meeting and dying, basically. So it kind of gets you out of the pandemic mode quicker. But it does that while telling the story in a very different way.
I have to ask about this cast because it's huge. James Marsden, Amber Heard, Whoopi Goldberg, Greg Kinnear, Ezra Miller, and then, of course, we have Alexander Skarsgård as the Dark Man Randall Flagg. So who would you say, to borrow a phrase from Stephen King, who shines here?
Well, Skarsgård just rocks it as King's demonic supervillain Randall Flagg, hands down. In the words of one co-star, he plays some of the scenes as if he's a sexy Trump, which, as weird as those words are together,
two words that should never be in a sentence together, but okay.
Yeah. But I mean, somehow he's able to pull it off. Heather Graham is also a bright spot as a socialite Rita Blakemore. Lesser known actor in the ensemble, Nat Wolff, plays Flagg's henchman Lloyd. I think he's going to be a bit of a breakout. And we haven't seen Ezra Miller yet as the crazed pyromaniac trash can man, but we've just seen the photos and from our exclusive photos and our exclusive interview with him, talking about how he's basically just playing the character wearing like underwear and combat boots, and pretty much that's it. And so, I mean, whatever.
I expect nothing less from Ezra Miller.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, it's probably how he would probably normally go out.
You guys, we need to take a quick break, but go pop some popcorn right now, because when we come back, we're going to the movies from home. This time of year is generally synonymous with the release of award-worthy movies. And while 2020 has, of course, been a little unique, to say the least, one thing that hasn't changed is that movie fans still have some noteworthy movies to look forward to at the end of the year. First up, Netflix's star-studded Ryan Murphy adaptation of the Broadway musical The Prom. David, it's been a while since we had a star-studded musical adaptation. Cats has been scratched from our memories. So does this cast deliver?
It does. And I think the other thing to note here is that it's been a while since we've had a musical this year, because a lot of them have been pushed into 2021 and beyond. Movies like West Side Story and In the Heights. This is, I think, exactly what you would expect from a Ryan Murphy star-studded musical extravaganza. The story follows a teenage lesbian girl's attempt to really bring her girlfriend to prom, and her conservative town's attempts to strike that down. In Indiana,
my home state,
yes.
Representing, yeah.
Also Ryan Murphy's home state.
That's true. Also Ryan Murphy's home state, yeah.
Yes, I would not say his depiction is particularly positive here of the town, but let that not represent all Indianians, especially those on this show today. It's an adaptation of the Broadway musical, pretty faithful to it. And I think fans, particularly of Streep, are going to have a lot to enjoy as she gets into her Patti LuPone diva mode.
I do find it hilarious that they filmed this at the same high school in Hollywood, not in Indiana, that they filmed Glee. And so, just another little Ryan Murphy Easter egg there for you.
Yeah, good one. That's a good one. Yeah. All right, so from musical to play, getting lots of buzz is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That's an adaptation of the August Wilson play of the same name. This one starring Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman in his final role. There's been a lot of talk of a posthumous Oscar nomination for Boseman. David, how do you think fans of the actor will respond to this performance?
I think they're going to be blown away. Even beyond highest expectations, it's a really extraordinary performance. It's the kind of film, that really allows its actors to show what they've got. There are some really extraordinary monologues that Boseman delivers just with really heartbreaking intensity. He co-stars opposite Viola Davis, who plays the title character. And then her band, Levy, played by Boseman, is her trumpeter, very ambitious and very eager to prove himself among this group.
All right, so among all those other Oscar contenders coming up is the new Pixar movie Soul, which releases Christmas Day on Disney+, and it has a perfect Rotten Tomato score so far, so it seems like this one is definitely not going to disappoint. David, does the film, which also stars Jamie Foxx as a jazz musician who suffers from an unfortunate accident, live up to all of these expectations?
I love this movie so much. It is just, if you love Pixar at its most wild and weird and ambitious, this movie is all of those things. I'm not sure if kids are going to get all or even most of the jokes in this movie, but it's just remarkably imaginative. Visually, it's some of the best work I've seen from Pixar. And it really is about the joy of being alive in a lot of ways, which feels like such a beautiful and important note to end 2020 on. So yeah, I was really knocked out by it.
All right, sounds good. Well, if all of you out there are looking for more of an action-packed holiday, HBO Max has just the thing. Wonder Woman 1984, the sequel to the 2017 hit, is jam-packed with 80s nostalgia. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. As well as Badass Women and Chris Pine. So, David, do we lose anything by not getting to see this movie in particular on the big screen?
Well, I think it depends on who you ask. If you ask Christopher Nolan, the answer would probably be yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to consider where consumers are right now. The vast majority of moviegoers are not comfortable going to theaters. Movie theaters are closing more by the week as COVID cases really ramp up. And the fact is that Wonder Woman has been repeatedly pushed all year long. It's been the most anticipated movie of the year by a lot of our metrics. And I do think that there's something special about being able to gather for an event movie like this, if virtually.
Well, that is it for our show. Thank you to my guests, Maureen Lenker, James Hibberd, and David Canfield. We'll be back next week for our Best of 2020 extravaganza on What to Watch. See you then.